I'd like to welcome all of you to another one of our co-founder trainings. This happens to be the Thursday edition of our co-founder training that we do on Mondays and Thursdays every week at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it is a Thursday, August the 28th. We're running out of month here. We're almost out of the month of August. So it's August 28th, Thursday, August 28th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And how about everybody unmute and just say hello to each other? There's a whole bunch of you here.
Hey,
Hello,
hello everyone.
everyone.
Hello.
Everyone.
Morning.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Hello.
Welcome all new members.
Hello,
Any
hello.
Kiwis who got Maoris that wear shorts
Hola,
down the
hola.
bottom?
Hello, good morning.
Wow, that was a
Hello
pretty
from New
Yes,
Zealand,
good
everyone.
morning.
Hello
From Florida.
morning. Hello,
Good morning,
yeah,
everyone.
that
all
trip
right, all
yesterday.
right,
Well, the other day she was doing the washing. We think you were. What'd you do there on the Zoom?
all right. Good deal. All right, that was fantastic. So it was good to hear the global greeting from all of you. And I'm so happy to be with you. It's a great day. Today, we're going to be offering you paid training, $50 of PFG, which we're not going to sell, guys, right? Don't sell the PFG.
Night selling.
Yes, no
Receive,
selling. No
receive
selling.
it, receive it, but don't sell it. Okay, receive it. Okay,
Same.
because let me tell you, it's going to become more valuable to you by holding on to it. All right, so I hope Nancy is here. I got in here a little late. So Nancy, are you here with us today? I hope.
Yes, boss, I'm here.
She's here. Yeah.
All right, the brilliant Nancy is here with us today. Fantastic. Okay. All right, she is going to be a busy, busy girl copying all of your addresses down. Now, some of you put your address in twice last time. Don't do that. All right. Make her job as easy as possible. Just put your wallet address in one time, whatever your wallet address is to receive PF. So whatever your wallet address is to receive PFG, put that address into the chat here. Okay. And we're going to check to see if that address matches what we have for distribution. And if that address is not part of our distribution list, we will not send $50 of PFG to any unknown addresses like that. All right, be careful there, Alex. That's twice we had to mute you. All right, so I can see all of you piling in your addresses. Again, just put your address in one time. The correct address would be one that's on the distribution list already. So that's how you're be entitled to get free training or paid training, I should say. Paid training because you have done what it takes to become verified and everything so that you could be able to receive distribution. So those people that we're distributing to, we should be able to trust them. Okay. All right. Now, if you've got $50, that's half of what it takes for the collateral that you're going to need in order to, take out a loan. So there you go. So there's a pathway to receiving some cash as needed. But again, we want you to treat your PML account like it's a savings account, not like an ATM, right? If you treat it like an ATM, as soon as you get money, you're going to pull it out, right? Counterproductive to what we're trying to do here, because all of you said you want to take the short path to wealth and to reaching your financial goals and not the long path. Okay, so if you want to take the short path, you need to employ certain financial principles that will actually accelerate your ability to get to the financial targets you have for your life. And sometimes you have to set aside certain situations until you are strong enough to take care of those, with the system we have here. Okay. All right. You got your work cut out for you, Nancy. Okay. All right. So I think enough said about that. Can you hear my friendly roosters? Is that coming through loud and clear? No? Okay. This is amazing technology. This noise cancellation that they're going off for some reason. They must be having a party or something. It's a chicken party. They're really making noise over here. Anyway, I'm distracted, but you're not. That's okay. All right. So that's just part of living in the Philippines. So that's the price you pay for living in paradise. You know, you're gonna have to deal with nature, you know. Because I think there's more chickens in this country than there are dogs, you know, so that's kind of crazy like that. And they're all running
Yeah,
around
wala pong tip.
like dogs. They're just free range everywhere. Okay. All right. So let's talk about some current events with regards to what we're doing and important things to pay attention to right now. Okay. Let me share my screen. The current event I really want to point your attention to is what's happening to the price of PML. Okay. So what do you guys notice here about the price of PML? What's going on here?
It's going up
Yeah, it's going up fast, isn't it?
To the moon.
To the moon.
Yeah, it's going up fast. So we want it to continue to go fast. In fact, we have made a request to all of our wells. We've been busy reaching out to all the wells and say, our price target is $1 million per PML coin. Okay, we want to reach that target before the end of August. How much time is left in the month of August, guys?
Got about 3 days.
2 or 3 days, depending where you're at in the world, right? Okay.
Yep.
So in order to reach that goal so quickly, a couple of things have to be in place. Okay. One, we have to have a liquidity situation that allows us to have a sharp increase every time a purchase is made. That's almost where I want it to be. Okay. And secondly, we need cooperation from all of you that maybe right now is not the best time to take any cash out of PML just at the moment for a couple of days. Can you guys handle a couple of days of no selling on the PML coin? Can you do it? Can you do it?
Yep.
I
Sure
can.
thing.
All right. Because look at it this way, guys. If we're looking at a price of 162,000, how many of those fit into 1 million? I would say about six. How does that sound about right to you?
Give or take.
Give or take six. So that's 6x. That's a 600%. So if you had, say, $100 of PML today, and you just quietly sat on it until the end of the month and didn't do anything with it, you wouldn't have. Okay, all right. You wouldn't have $100 at the end of the month. You'd have $600, right? Now that's cool, isn't it? Would you rather have
Very.
$100 or would you rather
Yep.
have $600, right? Just after a couple of
Yes,
days.
sir.
So I would say all of you bystanders, that aren't going to help participate in pushing the price up, just stay out of the way. Okay. Don't be run over by this. you know, don't be an obstacle in the path. Because we want to get to that price target as quickly as possible. So I hope you spread this particular video around because it's kind of important that people know that there's been a request from the founder to the Wells to get the price up to $1 million on the PML coin, and we'd like to hit that target before we end the month of August. Now, that doesn't mean on September 1st, everybody go and sell their coin, okay? But what it does mean is that we're all a lot richer in dollars as a result of doing this by the time we hit September 1st. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So that'd be a good thing, be richer, right? And here's the deal, guys. I'm going to get into a lot of strategy today. But when you're richer, you can do something with. See, the rich know that it's not, it's one thing to work for money, but it's another thing to have money working for you, right? And so the rich know it's better to have money working for you rather than you working for money. Okay, so let's just kind of start thinking like rich people. Okay, think like rich people so you can be a rich person, so you can stay a rich person. Okay, it does come down to the way that we think. So you can see here we've had a high, close to $300,000 on this PML coin. Okay, now we want to surpass that high, take it, twice as high from that high to make all the way to 1 million. So from 300,000 to 1 million, we want to do that in just the next couple of days. I believe we do have the power among the wells to do it as long as they see that they're not getting any resistance, okay, from the general membership. So we need to spread the word. We need to say, hey guys, yes, you can sell PML, but do it strategically. Treat it like a savings account, not like an ATM. We've even got posters about that, mini posters. And so let's make sure we get that message out there and just say, hey, right now there's been a request for all of us to just pause on any selling. But yeah, you can do loans, you can do all that stuff, but don't take the coin into the market and sell it. Don't take the PML coin into the market and sell it, because when you do, it has a bigger impact than maybe some of you realize. Okay, so let's take a look at liquidity real quick. If I go here to the PML liquidity, it's all you can examine that through looking at the holders. I don't know what happened here, but it's giving me half the information. Maybe refresh. All right, so we have currently 326 holders of the PML coin. Hey, that's pretty good for only being around for a month, right? That's not bad for the first month. Okay. And then this right here is what we call a liquidity contract. Okay. I'm going to tie that over to the pancake swap, which is down here. Okay. So here's the pancake swap. Notice it has a contract in front of it as well. Okay. So there's the pancake swap. Pancake swap is currently sitting on 0.0025. Okay, so that's a quarter of 1% roughly in available to be purchased in the pancake swap contract. But pancake swap can actually access and get more money, whether it's a PML money or USDT money, because that's the pair that we're working with here. So it can get more money out of the other contract I showed you up here, okay, which currently in position number 6. It was down in position number 8 before, but now it's in position number 6. Currently at 0.038. Now I did a snapshot of this when it was 0.02 something. And the price has gone up, but also the liquidity has gone up. And what does that tell me? It tells me that the algorithm is adjusting to the fact that we have a lot of buying going on. So it's accelerating, pushing the price up. But since the liquidity is also going up, that tells me that some people have been selling in the same period. And that's the only way that it can accumulate, more of a percentage here. This is roughly 3.8%, right? Do you know how decimals convert into percentages when it comes to doing math? That's roughly 3.8%, right? This would be 3% right here. That's 3%. 0.03 is 3%. I've had people ask me, what does that mean? Okay, this is 3%. Okay. We want to get this down to 1%. We want to get this, we want this contract here to shrink down to 1%. Once that's down to 1%, we should be at our $1 million price target at that point. Okay. Especially if pretty much selling dries up for the next few days while we're pushing towards our price target of 1 million. Why is that important? Well, because I'd like to give you guys a lot of good stuff, right? But it's got to come from somewhere, right? As much as some people might think I'm Santa Claus, the magic really is math. So, that's where, so we have to have bigger numbers in order to do, things like paid training, for example. It's much easier for me to do paid training multiple times a week with those people that show up. $50 each, it adds up quickly. Two of you, it's $100, right? So $50 each, that kind of thing adds up. But we need to have room to absorb it. Okay. So at the current price that we have of 160,000, even though it's well above our price floor at 50,000, it isn't really at a comfortable place for me where I feel good about ongoing paid training. You guys want me to feel good about that, right? You want me to feel good about ongoing paid training or not just start
Yes.
something
Oh,
and
yeah.
end it, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Because it seems to be working, guys. More people are showing up, right? So it's that seems to work, right? But we need to, it's all mathematical, it's all dollars and cents. So we need to have it come from somewhere. And it's much easier to pull $50 out of a million than it is to pull $50 out of 160,000. There's just more of them inside the million block than there is the $160,000 block, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So let me go to another principle that I learned back in my 20s. I'm a long ways from there. But back in my 20s, there was this idea that resonated with me, and it really just, it was a life-changing idea. Okay. And the idea is this: short-term pain, long-term gain versus short-term gain, long-term pain. Okay. So do you want to have long-term pain or short-term pain? What kind of pain do you want?
Short.
You want short-term
No
pain,
pain.
right? If you
Short.
if you
Short.
if you want your pain to be
Short.
short,
Pain.
when it comes to
Pain.
long time,
No pain, no gain.
well, there's going to be pain either way, guys. That's life. Show me
No,
someone who's made it through
No
here
gain.
without any pain. I don't know. I haven't met them yet. So we know there's going to be pain, right? That's just how life is. The question of fairness came up recently, and like my daddy taught me there's no such thing as fairness in this world. So, I don't know what your daddy taught you, but I don't expect things to be fair. I think you just have to do the best you can in whatever situation you find yourself in, right? And the quest for fairness is, you know, kind of a futile one, if you ask me. But we all do our best. We can try to make things as good as possible, but that doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. Okay. If you're expecting perfection here, don't your expectations are much higher than they should be for where we're at here. All right. So short-term pain, long-term gain. Long-term pain, short-term gain, right? So many people have this backwards where they're thinking about, the irritant of a particular situation. Maybe it's their cell phone bill, maybe it's their whatever, you know what I'm saying? But we all have these little things come up in our life every day. There's not any of us that are not, going through this. Okay. We all have got bills to pay. Okay. We do. And so, we just want to take the easiest path. I know, I get it. Okay. And sometimes, it's not even about bills. Sometimes it's like the ache of, increasing our lifestyle. Like we're so tired of just, eating simple or whatever. You know what I'm saying? For people in the Philippines, that might be dried fish and rice all the time. It's cheap. It's nutritional. It gives you enough calories to make it through your day, but at some point it's very boring. Um, in other places it might be noodles, top ramen or whatever. And a lot of people just go on and on and on living their life like that, because they don't have the extra to eat their ribeyes and lobster or whatever. And that's okay. At some point, you want to change that, but you have to strategically approach when to change that. So you got to there's timing when it comes to these kind of things. So sometimes we have to examine our pain factor. We have to examine our timeline. And we got to, this really resonated in me in my 20s. I'm trying to break it down for you because sometimes you say something, it's a good cliche, but no one breaks it down for you and it doesn't penetrate. So I'm really trying to break it down that, if we can understand the value of a little pain up front so that we have a whole lot less pain ongoing, right? When it comes to financial terms, we can this would help us in our spirit of collaboration and cooperation, right? the closer we get to the point of full cooperation from all members, the sooner we get to that point, the better off all of us will be. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
Right? It's when a handful choose not to do that we've got to deal with them, and we just got to either make it so that they can't continue to do things that are in the way of what we're trying to do, or whatever, just talk them out of behavior that's not desirable, whatever we got to do to try to move people together in a group. And it's an ever growing group, it's a fast growing group. And let's face it, there's a lot of people with all kinds of individual situations. Everybody's got their stuff. I've heard it all. Believe me, I've heard it all. So if we can strategically get our price up to $1 million on PML, and if we can kind of keep it ranging in there, okay, ranging, I'm gonna be extreme here. I'm gonna go extreme. Here's an extreme range. How about this for a range? How about $500,000 to $1.5 million? Okay. How about that for a range? How's that sound? Okay, $500,000 to
That's good.
one and a half million. Let's get up to $1 million. If we slide around in the back at $500,000 and then go back up, and then maybe really just start moving faster and get the momentum to take it up to $1.5 million, and just slide around there until we get price stability. We're going to have wild swings, but I'd rather do the wild swings around the million mark instead of the $100,000 mark, because our floor is 50,000, right? There's serious consequences if we go below that floor, guys. You understand? Okay. We don't want to go below.
Yep.
Let's stay away from the floor. Eventually we'll pop the floor up to probably $500,000, you know what I'm saying? Once we hit our target. But we need to get it to a point where that's happening. So we have to have growth and a lot of other things to make that work. The growth hasn't happened yet, but I'm expecting massive growth when we roll out the line of credit. Okay, when we roll that out, now I'm hoping it's going to be done soon. It's not looking like it's going to happen in August, but probably early September. Once we roll that out, then that pipeline of loans that we have now, which is about 300 deep right now, this is going to be gobbled up. A bunch of new people are going to join. They're going to take out 4 loans automatically. Like, just by joining, that's what's going to happen. Everything's automated, okay, on that line of credit. So yeah, yeah. And then at some point we might have the opposite problem, okay? But the opposite problem is a very good problem to have. And that would be a shortage of lenders, right? If we limit the lenders to only one loan per day, and then we can't provide enough lenders to keep up with the demand that comes from the line of credit. Oh boy, I guess what we're going to have to do is increase the limit for lending. What if we increase the limit from 1 loan a day to 2 loans a day? How would that sound?
Amazing.
Sounds good.
Okay, that's
That'd be
good.
sweet.
Sounds
That's-
awesome.
That's a good problem to have, right? The shortage of lenders. It's a good problem to have, because we can always increase the limit there. Okay. And so, yeah. So we have a lot of factors. There's a lot of moving parts to what we're doing. I'm keeping up with the complexity, so you don't have to. But just do the basics. And the basics is, as a group, we've decided for a couple of days, we're not selling anything. All we're going to do is accumulate and let the price rise on everything. Okay. We'll re-examine our situation after a couple of days, and hopefully it works out where we hit our price target of $1 million. I can't guarantee it. I can't force the whales to do anything. You know what I'm saying? All I can do is influence them. But if I can influence the general membership not to sell, hey, Wells, would that encourage you to buy? Would you be encouraged to buy right now at 160,000 if there's no selling going on from the general membership?
Yep.
Would you find that encouraging? Yeah, to buy? Okay. Yeah. Because we don't want Wells coming in with four or five, $10. You know what I'm saying? We want them to come in with 500,000, $2,000, right? We want them to come in large, right? So that they really get to, put their money to work. What do Wells want? What do they want anyway? They want their money to work really hard. This is what a well wants. And if we give the wells what they want, then we're going to have more wells, right? That makes sense, guys? And so
Yes.
that's it. Let's create a situation where the wells absolutely get what they want, and then we can leverage off of that so that you can get what you want. Okay? And what do you want if you're not a well? You want a pathway to get up there so you could be up there with the big dogs, right? You want to be up there with the wells, right? You want to be up there, making great money, wealthy, secure, happy. You want that. But it's a pathway. And sometimes we have to sacrifice on the front end if we're on that path. It's the short-term pain, right? It's like, if I sell this right now, I could use that to do this. But this isn't really something I got to do right now. I could actually do it here instead of here. So why would you want to sell something, right, that's appreciating in value rapidly if it's going to, just to take care of something that you don't technically have to take care of until it's here, right? Why pay it off here when you can just pay it off there, right? And so timing is part of strategy. I'm sorry if for some of you that I'm talking super basic here, but we do have a group of people. We come from a range. We're in a big range here of financial consciousness. Okay, we do have people on the low end of the range. So I'm sorry. I do need to talk to these people towards the low end, and I need to help them understand that we're trying to help you so that you're not on the low end anymore. Okay, trying to help you move up, but you have to look at it that we're here to help and we're here to guide. But if you don't listen, if you don't cooperate when we ask you to cooperate, you're the first person you're going to hurt is yourself, and then at the same time you're hurting the rest of us at the same time. So we want to work together with everybody, but we need people to treat the PML website like a savings account that doubles money monthly. Okay, treat it like a savings account that doubles money monthly, because even if you're in the low range, look how fast you can get into the high range. Let me show you something. Even if you're at the bottom of the barrel here, okay, and all you got is $50 basically to get started. You don't have much to work with. Look at in just a few short months, you can max this thing out. Okay. You turn 50 into 100, then you turn 100 into 200, you turn 200 into 400, doubling money monthly, right? And at some point you max it out at $1,500 a month, right? So you turn 1,500 into 3,000, that's max. That's the maximum. And then you can make with strategic withdrawals along the way here, okay? So literally, perhaps out of a one-time out-of-pocket expense of maybe $65 in your first year, from speaking to those at the bottom end of this thing, turn that $65 one time into 10,500. We have helped you. We have helped you grow financially. And some of you live in certain countries where $10,500 is a massive amount of money because it's USD, it's not pesos, or whatever. So, um, so realize that uh, we got every kind of person here on the entire financial spectrum. We got people who are jobless and broke. We got people who are just fine. They could live with us or without us. They don't need us. But they're here. They care about what we're trying to do here, and we got their attention that way because they're humanitarian. Well, we have and everything in between. Okay. So because of that, we have a nice group of people to work with. We have people we can lift. We have people that we can, increase their wealth and have their money working hard for them, and that's what people want. All right. Any questions about that? How good has my clarity been today on the subject of strategy, timing, and all that?
Great.
Very good.
Pretty good.
It's good. Okay. All right.
Great.
Because the next time we meet is in September. So this is our last meeting for August. So the next time we meet in September, and then we're going to have a special meeting with the Wells. We have that coming up. We'll be putting out a poster through Nancy on our big well, secret private meeting. Okay, for the Wells. Okay, only for Wells. That's coming up real soon. and we'll be putting out that announcement very soon. Let me show you one other thing. Let's go to our PML website. I know we're spending a lot of time talking about PML. We haven't put a lot of energy into the pool funding, but the PML is giving us a platform or foundation that we can use to make pool funding better and stronger and all that. So it's still part of the idea of what we want to do, but we can't talk about everything every time, right? We have to use the time as best we can. So just realize I'm strategically using the time, putting in focal points where it needs to be. And the website is here. Okay. And dash, I got to be in the right wallet. Let's make sure I'm in the right wallet. Might help if I put a password in. Let me stop sharing just in case. I got to put my password in. I forgot I reset my my browser. Um, Now I'm in. I'm gonna share screen again. Share screen. Move out the guarantee into my wallet. There we go. All right. Perfect. Oh, hey, I can do another loan. Here's what I've noticed, guys. I got a lot of loans that haven't been picked up yet, but I had 3 of them picked up yesterday. Like boom, boom, boom. This 527, 550, and 581 got picked up like yesterday, pretty much. Anyway, now I've got 604, 632, 654, and 685 and 698. I mean, I think we can move through 3 or 4 of those easily today, right? That could happen. So I'm just going to keep adding every day. Every time I have an opportunity to do a loan, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to add a loan here. Adding a loan. Transaction complete. Just 3 clicks and it's done. Okay. And everything's automated after that. So really it's just 3 clicks to make 50 bucks, you know, because all my effort is done. Everything else just will roll out as it's supposed to. So like I said, we've got a pipeline of around 300 loans here that haven't been, connected to a borrower yet, but I'm sure that's going to change soon. Let's go to the dashboard. I've taken out 4 loans, and I want to be able to pay early, okay? But I've noticed the button is grayed out. So why is that? What's going on there? Okay, one button works, the other doesn't. So I click, even if I click the second one, it's grayed out. What that tells all of us is the programmer hasn't finished, in time for this meeting. I had hoped he had finished so I could demonstrate paying off a loan early, but we're talking strategy today. And this is the last day of last time we're meeting this month right now. And unfortunately, I'm not able to demonstrate paying off a loan, but pretty soon it'll be basically a click, click, and then pay, and then, it'll open your wallet, and then you'll pay the $100 of PML coins. So to pay off the loan, you have to have $100 of PML coin to do that. Do I have it? Oh, yeah. My wallet's got $4,700 of PML coin. I got plenty of PML coin to pay off my loans, okay? So no problem there. So I can pay off these loans. And let me tell you something, guys. Let me go minimize this. If we take a look at the double dip idea here, okay? Double dip for twice the fun. Be a borrower to pick up the free money, then be a lender to double that money. Okay, so you have a great opportunity on both sides here. You can do both. And when you do that, you technically become a borrower first, and then you become a lender, right? But then people do the math on the calendar, and they go, "Wait a minute." Okay, they go, "Okay, let me talk to your big screen here. Let me go into the speaker mode." All right, so a lot of people, what they do is they go, "Okay, let me see here. If I do the loan, then it gets picked up later, and then after it's picked up, then 30 days after that." Then it could be that I got to pay this loan. I got to pay this $100 of PML before I get paid on my double dip loans, the loans that I'm the lender on, and they're looking at it like that. Okay, they're looking at it like it's going to be rigid like that. It doesn't have to be rigid. Okay. And so let me tell you what we can do instead. We can encourage early payment. What do you guys think about that? What if we all just like feel pretty encouraged to just pay off our loans early, a week early or whatever, you know? What if we all paid early? What would happen to those double dippers? They'd have the money, right? Wouldn't they?
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Yep. And they'd be happy.
And they'd be happy, right? So it's just a kind of a combination thing here. All right. We want to encourage people to buy coin as much as possible, right? And so buy as much as you can as soon as you can. But you also want to try to grease the wheels for the system to work more smoothly. Okay. We want that to happen as well, because we don't want the borrowers to feel discouraged. Okay. We want the borrowers to feel like it's a good idea. It's a good idea for them to borrow, right? So we want the lenders to feel good about lending. They're going to double their money. We want the borrowers to feel like it's a good idea to borrow because they get free money, but they got to complete the whole process. They actually have to come up with $100 of PML coin in order to pay off the $50 that they borrowed a month earlier. Okay, they have to do that one way or another. They got to do that so that they get their collateral back, and maybe a month after that they get the rebate. Okay. So with that all being the case, one of the strategies maybe we should encourage is early payment, right? Maybe 4 or 5 days, a week, whatever you guys are comfortable with. But it should be allowed that you can pay it off. I mean, you could take out the loan and just immediately pay it off. I mean, that'd be really early payment, but that'd be kind of ridiculous too. So, but early payment should be encouraged, and just pay it off as quickly as you can, knowing that you got a rebate coming. You're going to get all of your collateral back. The collateral is very valuable. Okay. Don't forget the one for one, trade off between old coins and new coins and the value there. Okay. So you don't want to lose your collateral. So, and we got Paul from the UK. I'm glad you're up. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. Really good.
You got your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, quick question. So if you do pay off early, let's say you pay off after 5 days, then your rebate comes 30 days after that. So is that correct?
It doesn't. It's programmed at 60 days from the time that the
Okay.
loan was initiated when the borrower engaged it. So when the
Gotcha.
borrower engages the loan, that's day one, and then 60 days later. The reason for that is this whole thing is built on the concept of the time value of money. So that 60 days matters that we keep it there, right? So we have that full 60 days for the time value of money, because that's just more money coming back into the hands of the people in the system, which could then impact the price, right? And once people have money in their hand, they could sell it, right? So,
Got it.
so that's why
Awesome.
it's set for 60 days, and that part's rigid. Okay,
Makes
so
sense.
you don't influence that at all by prepayment or paying
Thank you, sir.
early. But you do help the whole overall system. And if we all think
Yeah.
about the system as something we want to help, right? Help the system that's making you wealthy as much as you can, right?
Absolutely.
That
Yeah.
kind,
No,
that
it's
kind of,
great. It's fantastic to be able to pay it off early because, like you say, it's just going to help roll everything forward much faster and much more efficiently. So, yeah, it's awesome.
yeah. There's no guarantee that the person that picked up your loan is going to pay it off early. So you should just plan on going to the market before the end of 30 days and buying $100 for each loan of PML. And that helps make price of PML go up. And that's also a great benefit for everyone.
Love it.
All right. So we got a couple of more hands up. We got Karen Stoyles. How are you?
I'm just fine, Ace. How are you?
Super fantastic.
That's good. Okay, this is a question regarding borrowing. We can borrow 4 loans during a calendar month.
Yes, that's true.
So a lot of those loans are going to carry over into September,
Correct. They will.
date-wise. So if we have 2 that carry over into September, we can pay those off. Are they considered loans for September, or can we now purchase 4 in September?
It's not as rigid as you think it is. You could
Okay.
you could technically have 8 outstanding loans rolling all the time, because months flip into months. It's based on a calendar.
Okay.
It's based on a
Okay.
calendar. It's calendar month. It's a calendar month. So on September 1st, there could be a whole surge of people getting 4 more loans. You know, there could be a whole big surge.
Okay, perfect. That answers the question.
This is one of the reasons I'd like to hit that price target before that. I want to hit the price target of going up to $1 million on the PML coin before September 1st, right? Let's get it up there so that we can maybe handle the kind of surges I expect to see in the early part of September.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Great question. Very, you know, see how she thinks, right? Yeah. And so isn't it good to know that technically you could have 8 loans at any given time in the system, but it's per calendar month. Okay. All right, Scott, you got your hand up. How are things going in Thailand for you?
Okay, yeah. It's a little bit off topic.
Sure, off topic. Let's go out into the weeds. Okay, what's going on?
It's about becoming a whale and being a
Okay.
whale, what the benefits
That's
are.
one of my favorite topics. Let's go there.
How can somebody new become a whale if they want to at the moment?
Great question. Okay, completely off topic, but let's explore the question because it is a favorite topic of mine. How do you become a whale? Okay, let me share my screen and show you how. It's mathematical, right? I hope you guys learn to love math as much as I do, because well, the way I learned to love math is I just put a dollar sign in front of every number. When I see a number, I see an address, I just put a dollar sign in front of the the number of the address, you know. Hey, everything is money, you know. So that's how you get excited about numbers, because numbers are cool, especially if they got a dollar sign in front of it. So let's go here and let's take a look at the holders. Okay, here's PFI holders right now. Okay. So right now, I got to refresh it. Okay, there we go. So we have 2,227 holders. The bottom of the list, well, is not this one. What is this, guys? What is this?
That's liquidity contract.
Correct, Hunter. And what about this one here? What's that?
That's another contract.
They're all liquidity contracts. If you see a contract in front of the address, it's liquidity. Okay. You can have, you know, the way the system works, depending on frequency of selling and all that, you can end up with multiple liquidity contracts. If there's a high, you know, a lot of sellers come in, it'll create multiple contracts. Okay.
Actually, that bottom one is the distribution contract. Yep.
Okay. All right. That's our internal thing you're talking about.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, because it's a smart contract. But in a way, okay, you're right. Not all contracts are the same, but I like to treat them like they're all liquidity. Okay. That's how my mind works. All right. So number 49 is the main one. Okay. So basically we got to beat 49 here. So if we want to have more coin than 49, you know, they're sitting on 61%. They're sitting on 61% of a PFI coin. So if I have 62%, then I would become a whale. Right, Scott?
Yep.
Okay, so let's do the math. Says here the value of our coin for PFI, the current value is 2,092. So that's basically 2,100. Okay. So we'll just break out the calculator. Okay, get the calculator. And we're going to go 2,100. So the price of the coin, 2,100, 2,100. I mean, these are bargain prices, I got to tell you. And we times that by 62%. So times 0.62. That's the same thing as 62%, right? That's the decimal version of it. And we hit equals. So technically, if you wanted to become a whale in PFI through the market, you would spend $1,302 to do that. Or you come direct to either me or Nancy and say, hey, I heard you got a $500 deal for that. Well, how's that work? Yeah, it's true. For $500, you could get a whole coin. Okay, sure, we'll let you do it. So you can go to the market if you want to, but I got a better deal than the market on that particular coin. Okay, so that's one way to become a whale. All right, well, what if I don't have that much? Let's see here. What's our other options here? Okay, we got PFB. Okay, so PFB is currently 2,450 holders, and down here, number 50 is got 0.78, right? So basically, if I can get 8% of a coin, I'll be higher than the number 50, right? And what's the value of PFB? PFB currently sitting at 5,109. We'll just call it 110, just to round it up. Okay. So we go 8% of that, right? It was 8%. Am I right? Yeah, 8% of that. PFS. Let's stretch it out again. I think it's 5110 is where I need to be. Yeah, 5110 times 8%. Some of you are doing the math in your head already. You're good at this. Congratulations. It's okay if you use calculators though. 5,110 times 0.08%. That'll put me in the 50th position. So the cost there is going to be $410 going to the market, buying $410 from the market. I don't have a special offer for you there. That's the deal. If you want that, you got to pay it to the market. Going to push the price up, by the way. Now, that's another way to become a whale. The other one, there's two more. And we got PFS. So for our $100 pool, the silver coin, there's only 100,000 of these coins, Surprisingly, this is a much cheaper coin. There's only 419 holders. But at 18%, I think you're going to need 19%. Okay, so I just say 19%. What is the current value of PFS? PFS is currently 1974. I'll round it up to 2,000. Okay, round that up to 2,000 times 19%. $2,000 coin times 0.19. Going to the market, you will spend $380 in the market, roughly, to get into having 19% to hold one of those spots, 50 spots. There's slippage. It might be a little bit more. Yeah, I know that. But hey, we're just trying to figure out the math is. So realize it's going to be around that number. Okay. Now, the final one is gold. Okay. Our gold coin. And our gold coin is currently Yahoo at 303,000. So 303,406. So we'll just round that up to 304,000. Fair enough. So let's go get calculator. 304,000. Clear that out. $304,000 times, how much do we need there for that? Is that the gold contract? Okay, yeah. There's only 10,000 of these coins. 303 holders. And the 50th position is down here. It is 0008. So basically, if I've got 0009, I'm good. Okay, so 0009. So we'll multiply that over here. So times 0.000123.9. Okay, there you go. Believe it or not, our gold coin is your best shot at taking the least amount of money to become a whale, about $273 to become a whale. That's if you had no coin to begin with, right? If you had none. Brand new person, for example. That cleared up for you, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, what are the benefits then of being a whale?
$100 million. I'm not joking. So
Spread over.
would you like, yeah, over 20 years, but would you trade $300 for $100 million? Is that a pretty good deal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, the Wells are making out big time right now, guys. They're getting Wells. Are you getting rewards for being Wells? Is it paying off?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Yep, it is.
Now, right now, I had to take myself over to Hungary in order to get, in order to connect with one of our wells, Maria. But eventually, we'll be taking Maria and flying her all over the world, all expense paid, 5-star hotels, could be private jets, but it's definitely going to be first class or private jet, something nice moving around the world. We're going to treat the wells are going to be treated like VIP celebrities for the next ongoing 20 years, right? So it's going to cost a lot of money in order to, to our community, as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, they're going to want to meet the wells. Am I right? Who's in charge of this?
Yes,
Who's got all the
Correct.
money? Who's got the power? Right? It's going to be the wells. And even if you're holding a little bit of our coin later on with this, people are going to want to meet you. So that's why we're going to make you accessible, and we're going to work with your schedule and be able to, send you places maybe you'd like to go anyway, but all expense paid trips, right? That's going to add up. Not only that, there's just going to be deal after deal after deal. The wells are going to get all the deals, including there's a current deal going. I can't talk about it right now because, the deals are between me and the wells. Okay. Is there a good deal happening right now, Wells? Right now.
Yep,
there is.
definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So they're getting financially benefiting from this, right? Okay. So there you go. So it's definitely a good idea to become a well, and everybody should take their best shot. Take your best shot and then go for it.
You lost your sound, guys.
Yeah, I
You
think
lost
you
your
muted
mic again,
it.
Ace.
My sound is maybe it's my internet connection. Hello?
Nope, still no.
Still no? Let me turn the video off. Okay, I'm just turning video off to maybe help my sound.
There we go.
Is that helping my
Yeah,
sound?
it's back.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good again.
It could just be a weaker signal, this pulsating internet thing. I don't know why it pulsates. It should just be like light speed. All right, Dave Hansen, you got your hand up. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. Once you qualify for a whale, are you always a whale, or do you
No.
got to maintain?
No. You got to stay a well. That means you got to pay attention to where you're at on the well list. In order to be a well, you got to be a well in at least one of the 4 coins, right? But if you're number 50 on PFG and next week you're number 51, are you still a well?
No.
No.
Apparently not.
But maybe for $15, you could become a well again, right? Bump out the guy who just took your spot and you can battle it out, right? But that's kind of the
So the
point.
best is to get at least 5 before the bottom.
In other words, the well program is not an entitlement program. The well program is, the cream rising to the top. Does that make sense? So take your best
Yep.
shot, get in there, take advantage of the advantages you get to stay there, because the wells have advantages that the rest of you don't, that allow them to stay a well. They're getting benefits that help them stay a well that none of the rest of you are getting. Okay. So hey,
Makes sense.
once you're a well, then you're given additional tools to stay there. Use those tools to stay there so that you don't get bumped out. That's how it works, Dave.
Okay.
That's that's a pretty good deal, right?
Yep.
All right. Okay. Yeah, because at the end of the day, when we get more solid, and we're not solid yet, when we get more solid, people are going to really look at that well position like it's real estate that's very valuable, probably better than any piece of land on the planet. Okay. So it's going to be extremely valuable real estate. So you definitely don't want to, miss out on grabbing it while you can get it dirt cheap, because it's dirt cheap right now.
Yeah. So it's a good bet to aim at 5 above the bottom.
Yeah, I would say don't shoot for spot 50, shoot for spot 45 or higher for sure. Absolutely good strategy. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Ace, what was the amount of the lowest?
About
Sorry,
about
were
200, about 273, $273 for PFG.
okay, so that's not a lot of money.
No,
It, yeah, to become a whale.
to
Now,
be
if you're in the top 50 for all four coins, I
then we
think you've referenced something called a super whale.
correct.
What is the benefit between a whale and a super whale?
Right now, prestige. But later on,
Okay.
I'll find a way to be creative and make something special for the super whales. You know me.
Yep, yep, yep.
Right now, it's prestige. You get the title super whale. So it's very prestigious, wouldn't you agree? We all admire the people who are super whales. So I think there's 7 or 8 of them right now.
Yeah,
Eight.
I'm not one, but yeah. So I'm just going to say this. I'm competitive enough when I go look. If I get bumped off the list, it really ticks me off. Okay, I'm just letting you know. So anyway, so then I have to go figure out how to change that. So there you
Yeah.
go.
Psychologically, you're fitting the profile that we're looking. There's a psychological profile we're shooting for here. A little bit of ego is okay when it comes to a well. I don't know how you
So
can
I
not be a well long term if you don't have a little bit of an ego where you got, okay, I'm going to make sure I'm always a well, right? Yeah, it's
yeah,
going to take a bit of an ego to hold that forever. Yeah.
so I will tell you, and I hope this is appropriate, that anybody that's even looking at uh getting into the top 50, uh the um the coins are moving enough that you, in a very short period of time, will typically make a profit. Not to sell the coins, but it feels good to look at it and to see that it's going the right direction.
Well,
You know,
yeah,
yeah,
ultimately, you're going to have all sorts of options as we go move forward because we're not going to have like this forever don't sell the pool funding coin policy. It's just a temporary
right, right.
policy for now. And the other thing, keep in mind that when we transition to the new coin, even though that transition may take a full year to complete the process, once we lock down who is who, we're probably going to know who's going to end up being the well a year later anyway, regardless of what happens inside the new coin during that first year of its existence. Okay. We're probably going to figure out, because it's going to be whoever got that position and with the old coin is probably going to be able to have it forever, you know, or close to forever, because it's going to be much more difficult for someone to come up with the money it will take at the new coin pricing to be a well. Okay. Let's face it, the smallest price on that would be $500,000 per coin. Okay. And so,
So,
yeah.
so you're saying do it now, do it quick, right?
Yeah, I'm saying that the window to even think about being a well is right now,
Yep.
right? So if you have to if you give this too much consideration or time, you're going to find yourself like, oh, this got super expensive all of a sudden. That's when we switch from the old coin to the new coin. It's going to be that. It's going to be super expensive to be ultimately a well, you know. And believe it or not, there will be people that will show up to our group later on who will pay it, They won't, I don't know if we'll have a whole bunch of people show up for that, but there'll be some that will, pay the higher price. Good question there, Teresa. We're glad you're here. All right.
Sometimes I can't always make it, but I figured it out today. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you being here. Well, you get $50 of training today. Training you get paid training today. $50 of PFG. That's always going to help a little bit.
Yep.
All right, we got a hand up from Joe. What's on your mind, Joe?
Yeah, yes, and everybody, um, talking about possibly considering making the step up to become a whale. Just wanted to reiterate to get a hold of Ace and talk it over with Ace. If you've got
Yes.
any notion of doing it, and have the ability and the money for it, go ahead and get a hold of Ace, and he'll be able to work out a good deal for you. That's it.
Yeah, so Joe's basically talking from experience. I'm the good
Yes.
deal maker, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so basically this is a human organization, not a mechanical, synthetic, artificial one, okay? And you get to deal with me as a human being. How about that? Instead of a machine. So, yeah, I feel it. I feel it and I feel you. So I want everybody to have their best shot. And I want to give everybody a good clean shot so that they can make their dreams come true. Because I know what it's like to have dreams come true, guys. And I want that for everyone. Okay. All right. So we covered the well topic a lot. It wasn't on my I didn't have it, something I wanted to talk about today, but it's okay that we did talk about it because it dovetails right into everything else. Strategy. Guys, gals, um, strategy matters. Start thinking about your financial life in strategic terms. Stop looking at it so simply that money is just something to spend. Okay, some of you still look at money that way. If you look at money as something to spend, you're looking at money the wrong way. Okay? The right way to look at money is that it is a resource, and the harder you can get money to work for you as a resource, the better off your life is going to be. And sometimes that means less spending. Okay? And people that watch me closely realize I could spend a lot more than I do, but I don't. Why don't I spend? Because I actually understand money. That money is not something that its only purpose is to spend. Yeah, of course, you want to have a good life. You got to spend money to make a good life. But you have to take that in measured strokes, and you have to do it strategically. And don't spend your, I've seen people get themselves into cars, for example, and get into monthly payment, car payments that are above their means just because they wanted to look good. And they thought that if they could look good, then people would treat them differently. And then they would have more money because people would treat them differently. And they'd find out that that's actually not true. Okay. Because if you miss a couple of car payments, then, they're going to come take that car away from you. And then everything you thought, it gets ruined. So it's much better to live within your means and well within your means. And if life has got you in a corner where you can barely keep up with your means as it is, then maybe that $65 plan is the perfect plan for you. Take $65 and turn it into 100. The next month, turn it into 200. The next month, turn it into 400. After a few months, now you've got a situation where you have $1,500 a month that you didn't have before coming in every month, right? That maybe you could spend or not, but you could spend some of it, the 1,500. And what that could do for you if you find yourself, down at that low end of the spectrum, it only takes a few months to climb out. And then from there, you're in a position to really capture what we're trying to do on the cash flow side of pool funding, where, only takes 4 referrals to get to millionaire status, but that's a path. And you got to take the path serious. You're never going to achieve a path that you don't take serious. Okay. So you have the whole thing. We could take someone at the bottom and take them and they could go to millionaire status and then get there probably faster than anything else on the planet right now with what we're doing here. Because there's leverage everywhere. Every component of everything I do here is leverage on top of leverage on top of leverage on top of leverage. And why does leverage matter? It's about taking the least amount of power to push something forward, right? That's leverage. And that's what you want if you want to have financial power. Leverage is a good thing. It's your best friend, okay, when it comes to financial things. All right. Well, we had a long meeting today. I hope some of you, hung in there for the whole thing because there's a lot of great information. This one might be worth rewatching, this particular meeting. There's a lot of nuggets of gold in here, and some of them were just kind of like put out there for a few seconds, and you really have to be paying attention to capture it. So maybe rewatch this one encourage everyone on your team to watch this meeting. Maybe they don't get the $50 paid training for showing up, but they still get the value of the content of the meeting, which is the whole point of it all. Okay. And so let's make sure that we spread the word, because what we're trying to do is help you all achieve what your goals are. Not what my goals are for you, but what your goals are for you. Okay. My goals for you don't matter. The only thing that matters is your goals for you. Okay. And as long as that doesn't conflict with what we're trying to do as a group, bingo, we're going to move forward. Okay. So just realize we're all different. We all have different, levels of desire and levels of, how we see the world and all that. So, and so nobody is bad here. Everybody is good. Everybody's, their dream matters, right? So we can't compare apples and oranges. Okay. But it does take money to make a lot of these things happen. To even have an apple or have an orange, it can take money to have it, right? So that's it. All right, thank you very much. Let's see here. The basically right now, let's just say no selling PML for the rest of the August. Okay, everybody unmute. No selling PML for the rest of August. Okay.
No selling
No selling
PML.
PML
Selling
for the rest of
PML
August.
for the rest of
Selling
August.
PML to the
Till
end
the
of
end of
August.
August.
No selling.
No selling
So-
PML until the end of
Thank you.